Okay, so I can't find my first clip, so we're gonna just jump right into the tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by using my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation in the color Praline. This is like one of my favorite foundations of all time. The color is a little bit off, it's a little bit too cool for me, but I try to make it work as much as I can because the finish on this is just amazing. So now I'm going in with the Kylie concealer in the color Maple. I can admit that I was a bit of a skeptic about her whole cosmetic line, but honestly, I really like all of her products, and so this is one of her concealers. I have another one in Oak, but today I decided to go ahead and use Maple. So I'm going in with a dry beauty blender to blend in, or I'm sorry, blend out that concealer. And I know that most people don't use their beauty blenders dry, but there's just something about it that I really like. I do wet it later on in the video, but I like to at least start off using it dry. I just feel like it gives me much better coverage. Alright, so next I'm going in with this Kylie concealer in the color Toffee, and I'm just going to put this around the perimeter of my face to give my face a little bit of warmth. So I'm using that same dry beauty blender to blend out that concealer. So this is when I decided that concealer wasn't quite blending out the way I wanted it to with the dry beauty blender, so I went and wetted it, dampened it, and re-blended out my concealer. Okay, so now I'm going to set my under eye concealer with this Kylie setting powder in the color Yellow. I really do like this powder, but you don't really get much for the price. Alright, so now I'm going in with the Huda setting powder in the color Coffee Cake to set that toffee concealer. To prime my eyes, I'm using that same Maple Concealer by Kylie. Just blending that out with my beauty blender, and then I'm going to set it with that same Kylie setting powder that I used to set my under eyes. So now I'm going in with the ColourPop Nude Mood palette, and I'm going to start off by blending the color All Natural into my crease. Now I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Melted Shadows. So I'm using the color Cashmere Robe in Penthouse Suite. I wish I had gotten a completely different color. This didn't really do much for me. I thought it was going to be more purple. So yeah, not really what I expected, but after I kind of laid it down and blended it out, I went back in and blended out the edges of it with All Natural. Oh shit! Alright, so now I'm going in with the color Wink Wink from that same ColourPop palette and popping that on top of the Melted Shadow. So then I'm going to add the color Moody onto the outer corners of my eyes. At first I just kind of pat it on the outer corners to kind of build up the color to where I want it, and then you'll see I go back in and blend it out. So I wanted to add just a little bit more sparkle, so I went in with a Kaja Moon Crystal, and it's like a liquid eye pigment, and I used the color Luminary, and I just put that on top of the Wink Wink. I'm just dusting off that under eye powder with a large brush. So I'm going to go in with a Benefit Precisely My Brow in the color number 4 to do my eyebrows. So at first I brush them upwards, and then I draw an outline, and then I fill them in. So to add some warmth to my cheeks, I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in the color Pillow Talk Intense. so before I add on my lashes, I'm gonna, put on some mascara with my NARS Climax mascara, and I'm going to, Lord have mercy, I'm going to put mascara on my top and my bottom lashes. Okay, so the lash glue that I've been loving is the Huda Beauty Sticky Tacky Lash Glue. And I actually really like this a lot more than my Duo Lash Glue. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. And I'm going to put the glue on my lashes and stick them on. The lashes that I'm using are the Lashes by Lush in the style Big Baby. Unfortunately, they're out of stock until August, but once they restock, I will put a link down below so that you guys can shop. Okay, so I'm sure you can tell that this clip looks a little bit different from the clips that you've seen before. So what had happened was I got a little carried away with the eyeshadow on my lower lash line, so I just had to take it off with some micellar water, reconceal, reset it with powder, and then go back in with that same eyeshadow. So the clips after this are of the bad eyeshadow, but at the end you'll be able to see what the final look looks like. So now I'm just dipping my brush, that finer tip brush that I mentioned, into the color Moody and applying Moody right underneath my lower lash line. So I'm just reapplying some mascara, and then I'm going to spray some Morphe setting spray on a beauty blender to kind of help that extra powder soak into my skin. Alright, so now for my lips. So I'm going to start off by lining my lips with the Morphe Sweet Tea Liner. And I'm going to kind of go a little bit heavier around the perimeter of my lips. And then you'll see I start filling in my lips almost 3/4 of the way with the liner. And I'm going to use a lighter hand when I fill it in. Okay, so now I'm taking MAC Peach Stock, which is one of my favorite nude lips. It used to be like my everyday color, and I'm just going to dab that right in the center, and then I'm going to take my finger and just kind of spread that color around. So I'm trying to create like an ombre lip. So I wanted to add just a little bit more dimension, so I took MAC Flush Pot and I just dabbed that right in the center of my lips. So now I'm going to highlight using this Too Faced Turn Up the Glow palette in the color medium. y'all see the difference in my eyeshadow here? It was a disaster. Okay, so now I'm going to spray my face with my Morphe setting spray. So I'm going to pop this MAC Boy Bait Gloss right in the center of my lips. Now it's time to fluff out this baby fro. So I did most of the fluffing off of camera just because I'm kind of new to this whole natural hair thing. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I did it off camera. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.